Well, it's another cool, damp morning. Let's go in the shop. I got something I want to check in there. The bolt heads are nice and dry. Looks like they're ready to go back to their home. Good morning, everyone. My name's Matt, and welcome back to the farm. I was walking around doing chores this morning, as I do every morning. I usually reflect on the day, what's coming up, what's going to be going on for the day. But this morning, I got thinking about the farm and the direction of the farm and where we're going for this year. Hey, Butterfinger, you want your usual pet on the head? What about you, 2204? So this year, the farm has a lot more at stake, more than ever. It's funny, as you get older, you start thinking about things a little bit more. You start looking at the future rather than just the couple days ahead of you. You'll start looking at years and years down the road. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 or 5 months. It started last year when I had to have a surgery that was due to my years of abusing my body. For the last 22 years, I've been a mechanic of some sort, working on anything and everything from automobiles to tractor trailer trucks, compact equipment, heavy equipment. So the more I got thinking about it, and as I'm working 40 hours a week, pounding that concrete, anybody out there that's been a mechanic knows what that does to you. So I got thinking, for the next 20 years, where am I going to be health-wise? And am I going to be in a state to be able to enjoy, my 60s and 70s? God forbid I make it that long. Everybody hopes they do. So after talking with my family, we decided that it was time to make a change. Make a change that was going to be easier on my body, but also allow me to put a lot more effort into the farm and continue to grow and keep up with our demand for our products. Our customer base has grown exponentially. It's unreal. We don't have enough product by any means to keep up with our demand. So this past week was my last week after 22 years of making a living as a full-time mechanic. So just what is the expectation for the farm this year? Well, let's start right here with the beef cattle. These 5 are slated to go this year. They're already all spoken for. We have customers all lined up for them, and we have a pretty substantial waiting list for beef, but we just don't have the supply. We buy calves at a week old from a local dairy farm. We certainly don't go to the sale barn and buy them. I like to know where my calves come from. And we bucket feed them, then transition them over to grain and raise them up to about 18 to 20 months, and then they go to butcher. Well, we usually buy 5 a year. We're going to try to up that this year. Some of that's going to depend on the price of the calves at the time as to just how many we upgrade to, but we've already talked, we're at least going to do 1 or 2 more. So we'd like to get this year to have 6 or 7 for next year to go to the butcher to offset that demand for the beef. So let's talk about this enterprise on our farm. Hay. We do about 30 acres of hay ground. 15 of it's here on the farm. The other 15 is road miles that we have to travel to. For our farm, 30 acres is quite a bit. Yep, in the grand scheme of things, for a lot of the other farms around us, 30 acres is nothing. But for the way we do hay, it's plenty. First cutting, we usually do around 90% of our hay in round bales. That's not too bad. It's pretty easy to do. We do some square bales for first cutting. We have some customers for it. So that either gets delivered to them or put in the barn and we store it for them. When it comes to second cutting, I did enough to feed our calves, but other than that, I had one customer that's been a real loyal customer that buys beef and pork and hay from me. I do enough hay second cutting for her, and then that was it. And I could usually do all that just right here off the farm. Never had to, you know, travel to the other fields to do them. So they were just a once a year deal. Well, we're going to change that up now that I'm going to have the summers off to do hay when it needs to be done. We're going to do everything, all 30 acres, first and second cutting. Second cutting is going to primarily be square bales. We want to put a bunch of square bales in the barn. And what? I hear y'all making noise. We're going to put those second cutting square bales in the barn and have hay in the barn as money in the bank for the winter time to sell. So that's the plan for hay. We're going to keep the same equipment, use the same equipment. We're just going to try to get more hay in the barn. Let's talk about our pig market for a minute. Not quite sure where that's going to be going this year. Our normal supplier has already reached out to us and told us that they're not going to have much in the way of pigs. They didn't have much in the way of piglets. The piglets they did have, they focus on show pigs. And that's fine. That's, you know, what they do. But that doesn't leave anything for us. So we're going to have to figure out where we're getting piglets. There's a lot of piglets available out there, but the quality is very subpar. So that is something I need to do some more research on and see if I can find somebody locally that raises a quality pig that I'm comfortable with, because again, we want to sell quality products off our farm. And if you don't start with a quality animal, then you're not going to have quality products going in the freezer. We have some thoughts down the road on pigs, what we're going to do. The problem with pigs is they're not very profitable for us. The butchering expenses, the smoking fees are rather high. It's actually our least profitable enterprise here on the farm. And I'm looking at different avenues down the road that might make pigs a little more profitable for us. So we'll just have to see where the future takes us as far as that goes. Last year was the first year we did broiler chickens. That went very, very well. We started off with just 50 birds, raised them here in this pasture box, and sold them at our local farmers market and did really, really well. We sold 50 birds in 4 weeks. It was amazing. So I quickly ordered another batch, but they weren't able to get here till the end of August. So we raised them up, caught the last 3 weeks of market, did fairly well. Still ended up having some put in the freezer, but those didn't last long. We had customers reaching out to us, wanting to come to the farm and buy them. So this year we decided to go from 100 birds to 300 to 350 birds. And we're gonna hit up that same market every week. We're gonna be there every week with fresh chicken. We're also gonna look into adding another market, seeing as I'm gonna have a little bit more time to do that. And we'll see how the broiler chickens go this year. So that's the plan for the broiler chickens. And last but not least, with the expansion of our farm for this year, is our lady hens here. We went from 14 egg layers to 46. They're putting out over 2 dozen eggs a day. The whole idea behind that was to offer farm fresh eggs at the farmer's market when we go and sell our fresh chicken. So we'll see how that pans out for us this year. So now that we've covered exactly what we plan on doing to expand the farm this year, we're going to talk about some of the jobs we got coming up this spring. First is right here with the broiler chickens. With more than doubling the amount of chickens we're going to put out this year, that's going to require a second pasture box. So I got to come up with the lumber, get some sawed up, and build another box. So that'll be something we'll probably get done here in the next month or so. The first batch of chickens are set to arrive here towards the end of March. We got to get our brooder set up, put together, and set up in the bottom of the barn. That'll be a video I'll go through and show how we raise our baby chicks here on the farm. So that'll be probably one of the first things that we get done around here. So of course, another job we got to do here on the farm once it dries out enough that we can get out into the hay fields is spread these piles of poo I got behind me. I got a 5-acre hay lot that we planted to a pasture grass mix, the same as what's on the 10-acre field. That field particularly was in a crop rotation with a local crop farmer for years, corn and soybean rotation, and it needs some help, that is for sure. It's lacking a lot of nutrients, so instead of putting, you know, man-made fertilizer on it, we're gonna stick with, you know, the natural stuff, and so that'll get spread on there. We're going to try to use a Super M on a manure spreader this year. Never used it before. Of course, that tractor is new to the farm this fall, so it hasn't really done much of anything around here but other than get put in the barn for the winter. So that's the plan once the weather dries out and we can get on the fields. So with some final thoughts here to end the video. It's a pretty scary thing when you leave a for sure thing like a full-time job and something you've been doing for over 10 years and you're comfortable with, and to take a new risk and enter into something that you're in control of but you're not in control of. I mean, I'm in control of what happens here on the farm, but there's the unknown and the things that you're not in control of, and just hoping that everything meshes and will work out. And I'm pretty positive that it will. But only time's going to tell that story, so we'll just have to wait and see how this pans out. As far as the jobs that we need to get done here in the spring, those are just a couple to mention. We have a couple pasture jobs we need to get done, not just the big pasture project we've been working on, but a couple other smaller ones for the cattle. So those are some jobs to do, and you know, like I said, there's just a million other jobs that need to get done. The Farm All H needs to get done for the wedding coming up, because that's going to be used in the wedding. That's what the big push is, to get that done by August. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what that looks like all said and done. So if you've made it to this part of the video and I haven't bored you to death, I really appreciate you sticking around and listening to our story and what we have going on, and you know, hope to bring you decent content from here on out and just keep getting better with this whole YouTube thing. We've had an overwhelming response in my eyes to our channel in the last 2.5 months since we started doing this. So if you have subscribed, we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. It would help grow our channel. We're just putting YouTube videos out just because we enjoy it. We're, you know, the monetary side of things, whatever. I'm a farmer first, a YouTuber second, but I am enjoying doing the YouTube thing and interacting with, you know, the viewers that have messaged us and telling us the great job, you know, that we're doing on the videos and the content and stuff. So we greatly appreciate you guys and your feedback. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Give it a thumbs up. We enjoy your support. Hit that subscribe button. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.